Mr. Pine. What's going on, everybody? This is XTV shoot interview. We going over the timeline of 2008 with yours truly, The Pine. Yeah.
Payne, it seems as though you really made your mark in XTV so far.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You came back, beat Trunks on 3 occasions. You've held the title down. People are already nominating you for Comeback of the Year. 2012, we saw the return of ODD, MZ, and we saw the returns of a few people, but it seems like the one that's remaining prominent out of all the legends that have always tried to come back, it's you.
Yeah.
But on this shoot interview, I wanted to discuss the year 2008, of course, and I wanted to talk about various things that stood out. You know, it's a year that often gets brung up here in XTV. It's one of those things we just can't leave alone.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit here and discuss a lot of the things, that happened that year.
When Big Trunks, when Donkey Kong turned to D-Matic, it was fitting for that time period, That was a very, very different time period in '05. I'm going to talk about this first, and then get on the Trunks, if you don't mind.
Oh, nah, go ahead, feel free.
Yeah. It was different, because times was changing. We were evolving. We were teenagers. We were exposed to newer things, and you couldn't have that Donkey Kong bullshit, no more. I mean, not that it was bad, but it's bad for a time period, It's like, it's this teenage party. They drinking. You know what I'm saying? They got all this bad music around, and you come through with Barney the Dinosaur. You be like, hey man, look, I got Barney for our teenage party where we being bad, It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't fit for that time. But say if a teenager be like, hey man, I got this pimp, man, and he got a bunch of hoes. Let's fuck them hoes. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. It's more so fitting for that youth and that time period, because that would grab them more than something that's for children.
Exactly. So you're saying that Trunks, when he was D-Matic, he had that persona, he had that...
Yeah, he had it all. He had the mic skills. That's like what Grandpa Joe said when me and Trunks was finna fight. Big Trunks is one of the most talented guys in XTV as far as his commentating and the things he do. He's talented. But me, I'm an athlete. I'm going to always do real good being an athlete, and he's always going to do real good as far as the projects he got going on. What the fuck was that? He got his projects going on. You seen the reception he got on that Cosby Show, and it's just, I'm good at fighting. I'm boxing. That's my sport. Wrestling and everything. And Trunks is good at that. He was able to get that teenage audience in the palm of his hand at that era in '05. Once those teenagers kind of grew up, he had to change it. And boom, he changed to Big Trunks. And Big Trunks is a gimmick anybody can relate to. That's like Hulk Hogan for a lot of people. It's like a lot of people, it's just one of those things. Like, everybody like Michael Jordan. Everybody like Michael Jackson. And Trunks became the image of a figure that is beloved by everybody. Whether you are a teenager, where you are a little kid. He came in loved by children. Then he came in loved by teenagers and bad shit. Stuff like badass kids. Now he Big Trunks D-Matic. Everybody can relate to that character. So when he became that, it was just me seeing him do what he do best, and it blew up, man. It took on a life of its own. Usually when gimmicks come, they literally come and go. I mean, this is, we talking about '08, but when you look at people like James, who came with that racist gimmick, it was very good for the time because it got him back into notoriety after years of being so, not known and not loved for his contributions to XTV. But that really fizzled out real fast, you know. And if you were able to keep a gimmick to last for that long, from that time period in '08 to forever, you got it, man. And Trunks is just one of those people, you know. And it wasn't surprising to me that he found something to get everybody talking again. When people was talking about bringing Donkey Kong and Dixie back, talks like that was going on for a long time, I found out, you know. It's just one of those things, you see. XTV, we always try to innovate, but we never let go of the past. If y'all paying attention to XTV, you know, we never let go of certain things. Some things we just be like, man, I think we could have did more with that, you know. We don't let things go, and you know, I think that's a gift and a curse, because a lot of good things have happened because of that, and a lot of, you know, things have been unsuccessful. Like, you got this thing coming, you know, and this is rising up, but we ain't paying attention to this because we, you know, on to what we already know and on to what we used to. So I thought, so I thought that's what they was doing when they was trying to bring back Donkey Kong and Dixie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like Killer was really rising. They even got the Pain on tape saying, "Killer, man, you raw dog." And like I just said, I wasn't even supposed to agree with him on that part. You know, we were supposed to play our role, and I was pretty much supposed to play the offended party on this particular recording. But on that recording, I said, man, Killer, you know, cause he has something so special in him, and he has so much talent. But sometimes we don't pay attention, and we just bring old stuff back. Oh, let's bring Vice City back. Let's bring Super Mario back. Let's bring Dee Dee and Dixie back. You know, we so busy bringing things back where we ain't paying attention to, you know, what we got going on already. We already got good things going on. We just ain't using them to their full potential. And so that's how I felt, you know. I mean, that's how I felt when I found out that they was trying to bring back Crack Rock for the longest. But when they brung it back, I already thought at the top, man, like, man, this is not going to be as successful as our 2,000 episodes. What the 2,000 episodes did. In 2000, we was just so, like, on a roll and before our time and everything. And it was just one of them things where it's too big, you know. And we couldn't, you can't top something that was so great. Like, they tried to remake Wizard of Oz or something. You can't do that. You know, certain things just can't be touched. They can't be tampered with just because they already loved by this generation and this generation. They already, you know, you can't mess with that. You can't kill a classic. There's nothing you can do to make a classic better because it's already classic, you know. And that's what they was trying to do with bringing Crack Rock in. They were trying to outdo it, you know what I'm saying, and make it better. And what that does a lot of the times is make us forget about the impact that our original Donkey Kong 2 show had, and forget about the segments and things and characters that made that so special. And a lot of people say, oh, I got mixed feelings about Crack Rock. I like this episode, don't like this. But to be honest, Crack Rock, man, you know, that killed all our memory of the Donkey Kong series. You know, name one episode that you remember. Look at that. You got that puzzled ass white boy face. You know what I mean? Or confused ass white boy. Am I in the ghetto? Nah. And, or you counting how many times did this nigga say you know? It's exactly what's going on. You weren't supposed to agree. Anyway. So that's what I felt they was doing with Crack Rock. You know what I'm saying? Rehashing something that didn't need to be rehashed. And but at the same time, it was still unique because they were trying to put a modern twist on it. You know, we were just little kids around that time, and it was all happy-go-lucky. But here we are, it's 2008, first of all, and things ain't very happy-go-lucky. So let's interject, you know, the evils and bad things that's going on into this show that was once loved by everybody because it was beautiful. And, you know, it didn't work for me, in my opinion. A lot of people got so many mixed feelings. You got fans that love the series, fans that absolutely hate it, you know. And I'm just the one that I hate it. You know, I don't like it. It was a rough time in XTV, and we were pushing stars that didn't need to be pushed. I'm on crack. You know what I mean? Around this time, you know, I was on drugs. Dixie, you know, she was going through that suicidal shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much negativity. When the first crack rock, it had so much positive to it, and it had better messages, better meanings. You know what I'm saying? We actually had a goal. Okay, the goal for the original Donkey Kong 2, or Bride of Dee Dee. You know what I'm saying? It was just supposed to be me, Diddy Kong, and my sister Dixie saving Donkey Kong, who's kidnapped by King K. Rool. That's it. That's just some old Home Alone, Cop and a Half type, you know, story. 90s ass shit. Okay, as simple as it is, it's good for the time, and it's classic for the time. It's very big, you know. And then you fast forward. Oh wait, here's Donkey Kong 2. Except let's not call it Donkey Kong 2. Let's not call it Bride of Dee Dee. Let's call this shit crack rock, since Pain is on crack and Dixie's on, and Dixie listens to rock music. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just too dark to me. When it was just so much more lighthearted, simple, and my goal, if we get to the wizard, I want to quit crack eternally. Dixie want to stop feeling suicidal. It's just so much darkness into a show, you know what I mean? Where that darkness, that shit gonna take over the show, and you know it's gonna be gone, and we ain't gonna remember that much, you know, about it. I'll say like maybe 5 years from now, people gonna forget about crack rock, cause it was a dark time, and we injected a lot of negative energies instead of positive energy to what was once a great show in XTV. And I don't mean to be long-winded. Oh, it's okay, it's your interview. I don't mean to, and you know, I know you don't mean to change your voice like that, but that's just how I feel, you know. Crack rock, yeah, and the start of it, I ain't even get to that shit. I'm still going. The start of it, I remember the first episode. They were trying to be HD, you know, watching WWE, and everybody was going HD in 2008. Everybody. That was like the new thing. Get an HD TV, because your TV's a piece of shit, even though it done worked all these years, you know. And that switch over shit really messed a lot of things up for people, because the people that had low income, we couldn't afford that. You know, we couldn't afford the damn energy. Oh, get a hybrid. You know what I mean? You gas guzzling bastard. You know, how am I gas guzzling bastard when I can't afford the motherfucking thing? You know, things like that. And the economy was real rough around that time. And so they telling us, oh, yeah, you know, get a HD TV. Instead of us saving our money, at least, put the damn little cheap-ass recorder up to the stereo, get close up to the stereo and the recorder, and try to record like that. And sometimes, I said it before, volume on the damn TV show will be too loud where you can't hear us. We'll be too loud where you can't hear the background. You know, and it was just so unorganized and not right. And that's what was wrong with the series, you know, even though you didn't get to the last episode or nothing like that. But go ahead. Sides of Mania, what was that? Sides of Mania 7 or 8 of 2008, man. That was one of those Sides of Manias that, because first of all, you know, I want y'all to understand, I might say this a whole lot, but it was so fucking 08, you know, and 08 was bad, man. But when you have little gems, you know, every now and then, it just surprised you. Like when good things happened in 08, we were surprised. Like, that's how bad it got. Where, like, it was so fucked up week after week. And then there would come a time where some kind of light would appear. And that's what that Sides of Mania was. I remember best in that match with Bret Hart. And they just went at it, you know. And that's one of the things where I'm like, because I felt bad for the best for a long time, you know. I mean, and I want to say this on this here shoot. Tavares Howard, when he had his little, you know, rotten little era, he deserved that. Cause I remember when Best was, you know, really struggling, and the main people that would be throwing him under the bus any chance they got was Tavares Howard, Bob Classic, and Big Trunks. And Big Trunks and Bob was supposed to be his main friends. But like, just cause he, you know, and it's one of them things where you realize who your real friends is. Cause everybody discredited the Best. Oh, Best, you suck. Won't you just lead a roster? And so at this pay-per-view, when he fought Bret Hart, I was like, man, you know, Bret can still go. How the hell? And Best, he came back. People was like, that's gonna be match of the year. Well, we know what happened with that. Best is lame, and you know, just cause people feel, just cause the haters, it was a lot more haters back then, man, you know, and but that was a classic. Dean and Beast, shit, they formed a tag team cause of that damn match. So Payne, I mean, looking at like what do you think happened with this pay-per-view that made us not able to record it on tape? Now, we recorded it on tape. It just, the tape didn't record our voice as we was recording it, you know. So much funny shit happened. I remember Ad Monster came out there in panties, you know, like this was a full XTV Mania. Ad Monster came out there in panties. Alec beat his ass. It was like the old days with that little segment, you know what I'm saying? Soup got one of those damn cramps and shit. It was like so funny, you know. It was like one of the funniest XTV Manias at that point. Killer was starting to come up into his own, you know, and him and LT teamed up, took on Bob and Millennium. And to me, that match was that time period where it was like, oh shit, it really did switch, cause Bob was the top guy, and then Killer just kind of took that dude's spotlight at that time and just became, you know, started to come into his own. You know, he had a pretty rough ass year in 08, you know, at first. And then it just became his year, and he became the man, you know, and made man. Well, him and LT, but they created man. They got Walt, you know, and Wells, and we just started, and it started being classic matches, people, and that's what I remember about that. What mania? Brent Davis, you know. When I think of the name Brent Davis, I always remember the title that Best and Bob kept spitting out. This is the era of the athletes. Because, again, you have a roster so full of not only potential, but of brilliant talent, old school talent, and a mixture of every kind of fighter. Brent was a mat wrestler. He came right out of high school, you know. He was a mat wrestler, mat technician and shit like that. Yaki was a high flyer. Killer was an all-around. Killer was everything, you know, to me. Bob was also a mat wrestler, but he mixed it in with a bunch of different styles, and you had every style of wrestling and every fighter. You see, to me, this era was when XTV was not wrestling. You know, it wasn't, oh, let me wrestle you. It was, nah, let me fight you, you know, with my style. So you had karate motherfuckers, you had boxers, you know, with me and everybody. And this was an interesting era. But let me talk about Brent. Brent was somebody that I thought, when he won Rookie of the Year in 08, he was somebody I thought was going, man, he was going to take over XTV. You know, whenever it was his time. He reminded me of how The Rock was in his rookie year. You know, Rocky sucks and all that at first, but then he just showed improve and came into his own character. And that's what Brent did, you know what I'm saying? He had the little colorful hair. Everybody hated something about him, but everybody hated something about him, but you had to love him when he got in that ring, performed to the best of his abilities, and he was able to win a lot of matches. He had that state championship he had. Man, Brent was on fire. Brent was the man, and you can't tell me he sucked. And if you do, he was a hater. Too Hot was beast as well, you know. Too Hot, to me, he came from SIDE. You know what I'm saying? And it took a long time for Too Hot to come to any roster. We had Day of Reckoning at this point. We done had Raw 2. He probably was on Raw 2. And we done had many games. But Too Hot ain't never really show up and make an impact or make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So, from SIDE ending, 2000, that's when SIDE was over with, to the year 2008, he finally come back for real. You know, I know I said he was on Raw 2, but he probably wasn't, you know. And he just really was just kicking people's ass. He just like, it was, you know, and around this time, that's why I say this the era of the athletes, cause this was somebody so smash mouth. And I remember he was on a spree. He won the championship and held it down for like 2 months. And at that time, the champion was being so tossed around. It was amazing for him to hold that for 2 impressive months and be successful in a lot of his matches. You know what I'm saying? And he came back, and I thought he was going to stay. You know, he had a real good ass year in 08, had a better year to me in 09, but 2010, I think, you know, it was just so many characters again on a damn thing where Too Hot just, you know, faded into obscurity due to the incoming of so many other styles, and people was probably, you know, not paying much attention to him, even though he still was doing good, still was winning a lot of matches, you know. And I think it's just a shame with Too Hot. I think Too Hot should come back now, you know what I'm saying, to show people like they ain't forgot. I think that's what, you know, my presence is doing now. You're starting to see a lot of people from the past that people marked off as lame or this or that. They starting to come back because they starting to see, hey, you know, you never know, this time could be that time. It took me a long time to come back. And, you know, I'm not making this all about me. I'm just saying that it'll be interesting for Too Hot to come back and just take it over like he did in 08, like people didn't expect him to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Too Hot was kicking ass that year. Oh man. So we're gonna talk about a lot of wrestling. Y'all love that wrestling. Well, man. It's always sad when anybody talented dies, you know. Michael Jackson, that's the first one I go back to because that's the most recent, like, really bad death. But in XTV, it's different because never does somebody stay dead, you know what I'm saying, and remain dead, because we forget that they dead, you know. But Vic Vicious to me was an amazing, his size, man, you know what I mean. That's the first thing that captured everybody. He was bigger than Charles Dean. He beat Charles Dean on many occasions, you know what I'm saying. And it's just like, whoa. And then he fall dead, you know. Give me a second. Give me a second. Once there was this kid who got into. Super ain't gonna think this part funny. He gonna fast forward over it. But anyway. So yeah, man. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. Dad picked him up and just dropped that boy from a Hell in a Cell that was like, what, 20 feet high, flat onto the motherfucking neck. You know, saying that, from my perspective, it blew my high. I was on crack. You know what I'm saying? And so, to see that just really scared the fuck out of me. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta smoke some more crack. Cause I wanted to get that image out of my head. And you know, it's crazy. It's documented how crazy my crack usage was around that time. That none of the cracks that I smoke could blow my high enough to forget about that image of Vic Vicious falling right on his. He fell downward. You know what I mean? He fell vertically on his neck with all his body. He's so big, so to fall on your neck at force with all that shit from a cell. Man, that was like some crazy shit. But you know what offended me about that, man? Is we tried to get like a Vic Vicious zombie and things like that to make him come back, and of course it didn't work. You know, man, it was sad, you know, when Vic Vicious died. That's one of those dark incidents, and it just showed me that dead ain't nothing to fuck with. That's another one of those guys that could come back and at any time, and you know what I'm saying, like dominate and kill people. Cause that's what dead is. He's dead, so he has no life. You know what I mean? If he's dead, he's killing people because he wants them to be with him. That was always his goal. I remember the SIDE days. His goal was to kill people because he was tired of being lonely, being dead. And so when he comes, he's coming for your soul. I don't think I ever fought him. If I did, I was high as hell. You know? And it probably wasn't, and it definitely wasn't as crazy as him killing Vic Vicious. You know, he didn't try to kill Vic Vicious. He killed Vic Vicious. You know, he picked him up and he just did that shit. Man, and I remember that shit was like KO and it was over and he was dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those unfortunate incidents, you know. I mean, earlier tonight, Big Trunks and everybody was talking about the losses in XTV and losses in things we've had, and that's just one of those losses where, like, you know, you can't help but think about that. You can't help but remember that. You can do whatever you can to block your memory, but that's gonna stay in your head. We watched the man die at ringside. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a dark image, and like that's one of those things that we lost. Vic Vicious, I wonder how would he do in 2010 when the roster was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And how would he do in 2012, and how will he do now? You know, I mean, even though the PS3 fucked up, but you just wonder what Vic Vicious would do. You know what I'm saying? If that never occurred and things like that. But that's, you know, I mean, that's one of those things. You know, that just shows you, man, you got to be in top condition in order to do some of the things that we're able to do. Excuse me. You gonna talk about that shit, man? Well, we still in wrestling. When I became a maintenance man, that wasn't a gimmick. That was the truth. You know, understand that XTV sunk to new lows in 08 as a result of the depression and a recession. Hey man, brother, I know you hear me. But anyway, we just went down, man. You know, in 07, we generated so much buzz because of the shit that was happening. You know what I'm saying? And the Killer coming up and doing what he was doing. He'll be on F&K on 90%, and he was just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And so when 08 came, we just lost that momentum because it just became the same thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people lost their passion and things was rough. I spent all my money on crack that I made as a kid, so I said, damn, I gotta get me any kind of job. And I became a maintenance man, you know what I'm saying? And not only a maintenance man that was like, I'll be like, just go to people's door, you need any toilet work, I'll be like that. And that's how I was trying to get my hustle game up. You know what I'm saying? And it was just me. I wasn't working for any specific company. I'll just go to the school and beg them. And sometimes, surprisingly, they would let me clean their bathroom and shit like that, pay me under the table, not tell nobody, you know. But I got into so much trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to reveal some things. I mean, I know XTV trying to be a little better. You know, we trying not to say fucked up things, but you know, I mean, that teacher was sexy. Excuse me? No. Just saying, you know, it's lucky I didn't get caught doing a lot, but I did get caught doing a lot. You know, I smoked in the boys' bathroom one time, crack rock, and you never smoked with the kids. Are you kidding me? Are you like, nah, I'm not trying to. I mean, like, who do you think I am? Like, why would you even ask me something? Like, nah. I mean, you trying to just, like, I know we're doing an interview. You haven't said shit for the past, like, 20-something minutes, but you gonna try to just, you know. Of course I did, man. Of course I fucking did. Yes. I smoked crack in the boys' bathroom with the boys, with some girls, you know, just to show them, like, this is bad. You want to see how bad it is? And, yeah, you know. I was the worst crackhead, you know, ever. Like, I didn't give a damn how I got money. As long as I was able to smoke, that's all that mattered. That's why that maintenance man thing didn't last that long. Why you think the gimmick had ended after like a few months, even though it was catching up in popularity? That shit, man, you know, times was bad, and as a result, I had to be a maintenance man. Yeah. CAW comeback. Get out here. When CAW came back, it was again, you know, one of those things where we trying to bring something back from the past, you know, something that's just already had its time period. It came in '02 and it ended in like '05, you know, and that's like a pretty decent run, you know what I'm saying? But it's just one of them things where it's like, dude, CAW happened. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let the dead rest. They tried to bring TXG TV back too, but I'll talk about CAW first. The first show, you know, it just recently popped, and you know it's gonna hopefully be fixed. The first show was very decent. You know what I'm saying? It was like okay. It just wasn't. It didn't capture the CAW feeling enough for some people. Some matches I remember ended real quick. Combo fucked that boy Josh up, put him in a coma for like a pretty good while. I think it was like 3 weeks or something. You know, he bear hugged him, and as a result, you know, he got a lot of oxygen didn't come to the brain, and you know, Josh was gone pretty much for 3 weeks. You know, of course he sued our ass, even though we have shit. But yeah, I remember us trying on that pay-per-view. MZ struggling, you know. And then the next show, woohoo! The next CAW was at the time so big, monumental. You know, it's one of those golden things in 2008. It's just like, wait a minute, I got the golden ticket. And CAW, that second show to date, is still one of the better XTV wrestling shows, because everybody that made CAW great are there, and they reminding us on what made it great. Not saying they didn't try the first time, but it's just so much better. It's one of them things you can't even explain why it's good. You have to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that fast and killer story. That story alone, you know, we had a championship match, but the match they was looking forward to was Killing Fast, because they done had feuds forever. Yeah, man, we ain't gonna wrap this up or nothing, but I want to share something real personal before I even continue with this story. I think it's a ghost in the house. Yeah. Anyway. So, CAW was great. Luke and, what's the name? Joe Pexoto. Yeah. Joe Pexoto. Woo! They put on a crazy show. Best fought moonsault in that ladder match. Even though it was quick, it was excellent. You know, everybody came out there, showed and proved, and showed us why CAW was great. They had the moves. I don't even think they chanted CAW like that on the first one. You know what I'm saying? It was excessive on this one. It was just, we was outside, you know,
And everybody, MZ was even doing this thing on commentary. You know, even though Best came in there, and you know, like that's one of those things I look at. Even back then, I was saying things like, man, why do y'all got to be so mean to the Best? You know, like I really didn't understand the hatred for him. Like later on, I kind of got it, but it was still one of them things where, like, wow, man, you know, I mean, he was just doing his job on that recording. If you listen to that recording, he's just doing his job and calling the match. But everybody distracted. You disrespectful, Best. You doing this, and they pretty much cutting him off every fucking chance they get, calling him disrespectful. And it's like, okay, you know, man, it made it. You know, it's one of them things that kind of makes me mad. You know, when I listen to that tape, because it's like Best is not fucking with nobody on that tape. You know, he's just doing what he loves to do, and the fact, and it's distracting when you got people just trying to come back. You know, and doing what everybody else doing. It's like, oh, let me join the bandwagon on hating Best since it's the end thing, since it's what everybody do. You know, be your own person. You know what I'm saying? And I lost a lot of respect for people when Best was on his downward, you know, spiral and things like that. But overall, CAW, 10 out of 10. Leave Best alone. Yeah, Best's downfall was attributed to many things. It was attributed to his temper tantrums. It was attributed to him giving up. Speaking of CAW, you know, on the prior show, the first CAW, the one that wasn't as successful, Best broke his wrist in a match with Trunks. That was one of the highlight matches. That was one of the matches everybody was looking forward to. Trunks taking on Best. You know what I'm saying? And Best got a wrist injury early in the match and just left the ring. You know, didn't continue the match because his wrist hurt. That was like a bitch move, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were mad at him. I just was confused by the whole matter. I wasn't mad at the Best. I was like, I mean, come on, Best, you like you got a little wrist injury and you gonna stop this whole match that's highlighted? You know, not only is it a big match, I mean, not only is it a match you're supposed to fight, that you scheduled to fight in your fucking job, but it's one of the highlight main matches on the card, and you pull out because you have a wrist injury. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things. You have to continue. You know what you're doing. You know what you're putting your body through. So why quit? And I just was like, I was confused. That's why I say I'm just confused. I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, why would you do something like that? Why? You know, and I talked to him later on. Best had a lot of demons he was dealing with around that time. People fucking with him, you know, and not being a top guy. Like that messes with you. When you loved by all these people that say that they hate you, all of a sudden, if you ain't in the right mindset, you don't know how to, you know, react to that. You don't know. And that's just what it is. You just don't know how to do or what to say when things come up and people come up. You don't know what to do, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to be the good person, you know, respectful person, doing the positive thinking. But it's just rough, man, and it's just hard when you deal with so many characters of people, fans and bullies on XTV, Barber Classic, you know, and things like that, just pushing their weight around. And that's just what was the sad part to me, you know what I'm saying? Watching him fall off, you know, by just being me being confused. I found that out later on by Best, what I just said, but just watching him fall off, that's what it was. And yeah, he gonna get voted worst of 08 because you do little things like that, you know, a little wrist injury. You know how people think. People gonna be like, oh, that was some pussy shit. You have to be tough in order to be in XTV. You have to endure so much punishment and so much pain. And if we see any crybaby tear, you getting your ass out of here, and you ain't never heard from again. That's just that's what this place is. You know, only the strong survive. It goes with that saying. They once loved NMM for his entrance and his creativity, but then they start hating him. NMM obviously couldn't deal with all that hate, and as a result, he's no longer with us. You know what I'm saying? In XTV, and that happened with a lot of people. You know, people like, oh, he ain't performing as good as he once was. He ain't doing this. He ain't doing that.
Forget what they saying. Fuck what they saying. You know what I'm saying? You are in charge of this ship. You've been in charge of this ship. Ride this motherfucker until the ship ain't got wheels. Till the motherfucker don't flow no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, you know. I think that people need to be more strong before they decide to enter XTV. And yeah, that's what I think. This right here is what makes me love XTV. You know what I'm saying? 90% is a legend. He is the king. He is the thing. You know how if you just ask anybody, what is wrestling? Hulk Hogan. Baseball, Babe Ruth. Hip hop, Jay-Z or somebody, or Biggie or Pop. You know, 90 is all that on XTV West. He is our Michael Jackson. He is our Michael Jordan. He is every single thing that represents the energy of XTV West. You know what I'm saying? Whether he was real violent at the beginning or whatever the fuck happened, when the Real Nigga Collection came out, there is not one skippable moment of any episode in that collection. There's not one. That's why they had to make them 3 in a pack, cause you can't skip over nothing that 90 is saying or doing, or the commentary from Killer, Trunks. You know what I mean? It's just one of those golden, you know, things. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say golden times, cause times was still rough. But what came out of those times in those 3 tapes, it's just back-to-back classic. You know what I'm saying? It started on that fucked up radio, and that Real Message Continued is one of the greatest XTV tapes of all time. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where, okay, Real Message Continued, an all-time classics over here in XTV West. Generation Y is really starting to come up really fast, and that's about to be one of those monumental motherfuckers. Then Religion, that we thought we lost, but now we was able to fix it. That shit done came back. So it's just one of those things where, like, new generation of XTV stars are discovering this, and they can use this and see what makes somebody so great. Sorry, I ain't mean to Home Alone. I think I got a lot bump. But anyway, that's what made his show great to me, man. Is that he was so vicious, you know what I'm saying, and ruthless with the truth, and that made us get, like, we already had a respect for 90, you know what I'm saying, but that was like respect on a whole nother level as far as who he was. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? And I said, you know what I'm saying, like 80 times because I'm typing. Because I'm typing. 90 golden. You know what I'm saying? He ripped it. The Monster incident was a sad incident. Charles Dean got a steel chair. Well, Dean was having a rough day, and it was his daughter's birthday, and she was around him watching his rough day in her eyes. Dean gets a steel chair, beats the living crap out of Monster, who's mentally ill. You know, they're supposed to just have a friendly exhibition, but Monster is winning, kicking ass a whole lot, and he's about to win. Dean gets upset, gets the chair, and beats on that poor mentally ill kid. You know what I'm saying? And I love Monster. You know what I'm saying? I donate to his charity and all that. I love Monster. I love Corey Jordan. I should say his real name. You know what I'm saying? But I lost so much respect for Charles Dean dropping the N-word, you know, nigger and all this shit. It's like, wait a minute. How long you had that in you, Mr. Charles Dean? And it's just one of those wait a minute moments, you know. It's '08 too. That's what I'm always going to bring up. That's how '08 that incident was. That wasn't like Charles Dean. Charles Dean didn't used to. I'll be back. I think the history. I think the history of Dean's timeline. I think a lot of that kind of got to him. I mean, I know he's a tough guy. I know he's going through a lot, but he went through a lot, Charles Dean. And I think that but that's still no reason for you to snap on somebody who's mentally handicapped. He don't know what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to take your frustrations out on this innocent, kid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just upsetting. And I just really wish he would have took his anger. I wish he would have handled his anger a lot better than he did. Cause Monster did not deserve that. Corey didn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to have imagine you just want to play a game of cards with your friends and he just beat you up a bunch of times, He just wanted to play. He didn't know you was going through all that. What he's supposed to just take that ass whooping? Oh yeah, take this just because that's how I feel, It's not right. And hey man, Dean, that's fucked up. And but it's good he was able to recover from that. Monster. I think they since made up. I mean, I'm not sure. You never know with old Corey. But yeah. FNK doing that parody of HY from '03 was brilliant work. Again, it's not looked at as one of those classics at the time. It ain't looked upon as a classic until later. You know what I'm saying? And like that. That's what I've been talking about, and throughout this shoot interview, on some of the parts, is that people don't give enough credit to things that are coming up. You know what I'm saying? They don't give enough credit to, like, guys that's on the rise. Like, Killer was doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? He might not have had that fan base he had in '07 yet, but it's, he was still talented. You can't look at how many fans he touched. If you just look at how many fans he touched, you know what I'm saying, and the ratings of things, you ain't paying attention to this man's full potential and full talent. You might have one hit album in the year 2008 or the month of August in 2008, and then let's say maybe October you don't have no more hits. Don't completely give up on him. I think XTV give up too early. And that was a result with Killer. To me, he was the highlight of that tape. Even though the story involved me and Trunks doing our little thing, that was real fun, because I was so thirsty at that damn time for any kind of amount of money to get high. Oh, man. Well, I was dealing with a lot of personal demons, man, in '08. And YouTube, the reason I did that video is because I was desperate to getting high. And prior to this, Super Duper, he lost his damn mind. This was very early '08. And it was like McDonald's. He had went to the McDonald's up here, actually. One on, on Florida, whatever that shit is over there. And he went to that McDonald's, and there was this homeless guy. Soup just sat down, ate his food, and the homeless dude was speaking all low. He got up, you know what I'm saying, and just was begging Super Duper for like some money. The nigga slobbed on Antonio's burger, slobbed on his Big Mac. Soup gave him $20. You know what I'm saying? He still kept begging, and Soup gave him another 20. Instead of just saying to kill your ass on. And that's just one of those incidents at the time he really beat himself up about, because he felt that was stupid. You know what I'm saying? And he just like really felt bad about what he did, because especially his brother came through and said that was a nice thing, but man, come on, we got to use your money more wisely. And you got to understand, around that time Soup was just throwing money out. Anyways, that's basically what my character was on that YouTube when I did that shit. You know, I was actually making fun of him. You know what I'm saying? And parroting that situation. You know, whether it was real or fake about the cops harassing him and all that. I was just kind of, you know, doing my thing on it since I was the only crackhead in XTV. They're like, hey, Payne, get on YouTube and act like a crackhead that's begging. And that's what I did. Or a homeless person. Sorry for calling that man a crackhead, but he probably is. Anyway. Yeah. A real, you know, parody situation. And that's what that was on YouTube. Didn't get many views. I think it got a bad comment. You know what I'm saying? But it never got a whole lot of views. The golden ticket again, man. You see, certain things you bringing up in 08 are already known and documented. But let me tell you what the Cosby Show did on XTV. Man, fuck that. Ever so often, there comes a show in XTV that changes the direction of what we doing. You know, F&K Sing Along, when that came through, after that tape, we tried to recreate that same magic and redo it, and we couldn't do it because it was already done. You know what I'm saying? So we just kept on trying to find that new style, Boom, the Real World Tampa hits. And that happens every decade. You know, something happens that shakes the whole game up. When Lil Wayne dropped Lollipop and dropped that Carter 3, everybody tried to follow the formula. And, you know, some with plenty success, some with no success. You know what I'm saying? The Cosby Show was a game changer. It showed us another way of doing something. And Killer was definitely on point. He was on fire. He was killing it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's just, I was happy that he blew up, but I always felt, you know, LT can actually co-sign me on this, even though that's his best friend. I felt a lot of times he'll let it get to his head, and he'll, you know, attack the ones that's most closest to him. And that's what happened with his success. But the show blew me away. The story was good, the sound was good, and it was sped up, it was fast paced. Why do you think nowadays you see so many fast paced projects? Where do you think that came from? You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that inspired a number of things that you wouldn't even know if you don't know about this episode, this specific episode. It's uploaded on YouTube, and this shit got a ton of views and likes. Dislikes as well, but overall, people like it. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that was popular at the time. We did it in XTV. There's no name, no nothing to a lot of people. It was popular to all of us in here and our fans. Then we uploaded to YouTube, and it's popular to them out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even say them like that. It was kind of like them, you motherfuckers. But I'm just saying, it's brilliant work. And you can tell Killer tried his hardest. You know what I'm saying? And that Killer comedy tour he did before that Cosby Show, that's even uploaded to success on XTV. He was just, he brought popularity back to himself. And, you know, crack rock was starting to come up. But he just made, he did what I wanted somebody to do. Like what XTV wanted. They wanted to bring something back from the past and make it relevant in 08. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much forgetting about the future and the talent that's on the roster. Killer made them forget about crack rock and all the shit we was trying to, you know what I'm saying, promote from the past and stuff. We were supposed to do a third CAW episode that was supposed to be recorded on VHS. You know what I'm saying? And a cassette. We was going to have the whole package with that CAW. That was going to be big and shit. But he made everybody be like, hold up, let's focus on what Killer doing, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is really big for this time period. Look at the audience. Look at the, all these significant things going on with this specific recording. And remember, this shit just started off as a recording on a cassette tape that Super Duper liked a whole lot. And then Trunks liked it. Best liked it. It was passed around in XTV. The audience in XTV liked it. We gave it to Joab. We played it one time. And this one, it was just on tape. He laughed his ass off. You know what I'm saying? And the people on XTV East Coast laughed. So we went from us to everybody over here to him to the whole world. And look at what you have now with this Cosby Show. This is one of the greatest tapes ever. You know what I'm saying? And XTV in recent years, I should say. I mean, we had many great tapes, but that's why they voted that on the list when we was talking about the top 10 tapes that we ever did. And that's why it's definitely relevant, you know what I'm saying, and loved because of what it did. It came out at a very rough time and dry time in XTV. Wells playing a laugh track like he was doing, and Killer just doing his thing, you know, with his comedy. And he got Bill Cosby, he got Rudy Huxtable. Oh my God, man, it's like a blast from the past with an XTV twist on it, Killer style. And that's what Killer did. Killer had said, this ain't XTV no more. This ain't TXG TV no more. This is my shit. You know, and y'all gonna have to like it. And that's why it is one of the greatest tapes of all time, man. You know, my favorite tape. It's legendary. I like to, you know, and it's one of them things. It's like he had that one show, you know, and then he followed it up with another classic. The second episode was classic. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. Everything he did after that involved that Cosby Show was big. And you can't do that all the time in XTV, especially now. You can't have no real good whatever, you know, it come out and then the next episode good. Sometimes you have one good episode, but the shit that follow don't be that successful, and the one that follow after that, it ain't good. And you know, but Killer, that was the first time where somebody did something and it was good. The first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time, and it didn't stop. The seventh, eighth, you can go on forever. All the ones he recorded are classic and gold. You know what I'm saying? That shit is framed in XTV history as one of the greatest tapes. And it's due to Killer's style, man. And he was unique. He was funny as fuck. You know what I'm saying? That is one of the greatest XTV recordings.
Well, I'm pretty sure Killer will say thank you to that.
Yeah.
You're the lamest interviewer ever.
Yeah. Life 8908. Wow. You know, super duper, man. Antonio Warren, the person who made XTV. You have to understand this dude's life. You know, in order to understand certain decisions that he makes. His life was real rough around this time. He just lost his grandma. The last month of 07, he just lost his grandma. So now, wait. And it's just real depressing because you think of things he wish he did, you know. And at the time of his grandma's passing, as she was, you know, passing away, everybody around him told him, hey man, you know, get whatever information you can out of her and all this different stuff. But Soup, he was just, he didn't do that, you know what I'm saying? He didn't do that due to the fact that he focused more on like his material and his work, where he didn't spend enough time, he felt, with his grandma. And a lot of sadness came from that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of just beating himself up. I can't think of the word. Just beating himself up a whole lot. Not to mention life was rough as fucking 08. So when he recorded this tape, he had all these things going into him. He was on YouTube, videos wasn't getting good views or responses or none of that, you know. And he just was just at this dark time in his life where he didn't know how to let it out. And sometimes the best way to let it out is to shut a fucking tip. You know, it might be a bitch move to some other motherfucker, but sometimes if you can't find the words to say or find the right thought to get it out, that's what's gonna come out. And I'm not saying force the shit and be like, and be a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying
sometimes if that shit gonna come out, don't stop it, cause it's gonna come out. And on Life 8908, that's what happened, you know. And it wasn't loud, but you could hear it in his voice. This was a person who just lost somebody, and who's just feeling like he's losing his mind. And man, it's a very depressing tape. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in the right mode, which is I want to get sad as fuck mode. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to get sad enough, listen to that shit. It's pretty depressing. Like, what always strikes me is that he tried his hardest to do XTV, you know, on that tape. He tried with bringing Killer in there. He tried everything, but it just was so much going on where he couldn't do it. He couldn't pull it through, and he just, hey man, he let out. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Got it though. Yeah, man, a sad tape. You know, Life 8908. We actually got the animated vlog that actually came out of there. You know, the thing that followed it. Sad tape, man. Sad. FNK was dying. The Joe Show became a no-show. Man, the Joe Show was so good and monumental that I see why it didn't even get a real chance in no way. Because the Joe Show was the first show pointing out what was wrong with XTV. And maybe in 06, when he first debuted, it was like he kind of did it wrong. You know what I'm saying? He just targeted people. He just said what was wrong, and he never pointed out why it's wrong. He just said this is wrong. You know what I'm saying? But with that, it made us see, damn, why he see is wrong. And we in XTV, we were able to look and see, oh, you know, maybe this is wrong. Some of us, but some of us continue to do what we did. And Grandpa Joe always warned us. If you pay attention to them Joe Show episodes, he always warned us about a time like 08. He said, evil, you know what I'm saying? He used to say things, evil ain't gonna do nothing but get more evil. He used to say little things like that. You had to catch him, you know, and that's what happens. XTV was very violent in 07, but it was funny, but yet real violent. You know what I'm saying? You had the best moments with the violence and funny shit, and then you had the worst moments. 08 was some of the worst moments, and our material suffered. And it was because we had so much dark. Like, I already explained to you about Crack Rock. I already told you about how that shit was lighthearted, and then, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened in 08. It's like we did all this evil shit. Now we ain't feeling doing this evil shit because this is an evil ass year. You know what I'm saying? Evil know what you want, and they know what you want to do, and it's gonna fuck you up. That's what it did. You know, a combination of all that fucked up shit we was doing messed XTV up for that time period in 08. You know. Crack Rock being knocked off the air pissed the nigga off. Never have I got information that was that bad where I just beat some random person up on the street. You know, just beat that man to a bloody pulp. He didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? I was mad though. And I did the Charles Dean to his ass. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that brings your career back. And you happy it brought your career back. But it ends because of Bess's fucking tantrum. And it's just one of those moments where I'm like, I'm starting to see what y'all saying, you know? Bess got mad, got the plug, and just ripped it apart. It's on tape. You know what I'm saying? Where he just ripped the fucking cord of the Super Nintendo because he had a rough day and it didn't work no more. And that was the first time Crack Rock was canceled.
And at that point, we generated a huge audience after a classic episode. But Best fucked it all up, at that time. And we was just, that's when a lot of people was mad at him. Because he would just do, like, he already came over the wrist injury shit, and now you want to do things like this. We just was so tired of him at this point, where words couldn't express our true anger towards him. And he fucked it up for the fans. Pain, I want to bring a special guest in here.
What's up, brother?
Oh, what's up, man? Yeah. So, what's going on, ODD?
Nothing. Just chilling, waiting for the union.
He said he just chilling, waiting for the questions for anybody confused. Anybody.
Yeah.
Y'all get a little confused. Pain, how do you feel? I mean, what's your mindset when they say Pain, Killer, and Wells are redoing Action 2? Sue the shit out their ass so I can get some money for crack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, man, nah. Actually, it was. At the time. I don't know why I'm talking about some damn nah. I was deep into my drug usage in a way. That's like a dark time for me using my shit. So I wanted to sue their ass. Of course, I couldn't afford a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And so that never went through. But it was a good idea. You know what I'm saying? They tried to go through with it, but I heard like the first take wasn't as good. And they had all lines written. Killer was going to be pretty much me. You know what I'm saying? Wells was going to be Trunks. That would have worked. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a very classic thing. But again, it's like I said, bringing shit from the past to make it relevant in this time. It's just that, when you look at it, it's just dumb. You know what I'm saying? You got to let go of the past a lot of times. You have to in order to move on. Times may be difficult because you don't know what that next thing is, but it's good to go over things, you know what I'm saying, to see where some shit got lost, but overall, you gotta let it go. And you gotta let things be free. And we didn't do that. And we almost butchered the history and legacy of Action 2. We already fucked Crack Rock up, you know what I'm saying? Look, we don't even remember it being Bride of B. Yeah. So how'd you feel about that, ODD?
I'm gonna try to talk as proper as I can.
I understood that.
Well, I thought it was incredible.
He thought it was incredible.
But I ain't like it.
He ain't like Killer. Oh, wow. Well, that's it for that.
For that, he leaves now.
All right, Pain. We're almost down to a few more questions. That's cool, man. I can get the hell out of here. It's hot. Pain. This is a legendary recording. You talked about the Cosby Show, but the HY review. Damn. HY review. Well, I already said that Cosby's the greatest of all time, and it is. But if I was to put anyone a close second, it would be Hell Yeah Review. In 2005, me, F&K was real big, especially in like mid to late 05. So they did a review. No, they did a one night stand of Hell Yeah. Around this time, they had a one night stand of ECW. So we did it pretty much. What you doing out here? Oh. We did HY One Night Stand in 05 though, man, and we kept on trying to redo something like that all the years after it. And we had did that one Hell Yeah One Night Stand in 08.
that was real brief. We didn't even finish the whole tape. You know, it was real funny though. And it's kind of coming up popularity. You know what I'm saying? But this review was what we tried to do all those years, just kind of capture that HY feel, but give it a more modern feel. And I think that's the best way to do certain shit like that, is to review something like that. You know what I'm saying? Look over it and talk about jokes that was going on at the time. And I thought everybody did their job real good. You know, I know the first HY review really loved, but I mean the second one really loved, but the first one is way better than that to me. You know, even though we lost the second tape, it's funny as hell. You know, Killer is definitely on point. He's, you know, he owned it. Good. He had some good ass crack before he came, and you know what I'm saying, drop those funny bombs. You know, I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. It's okay, man. XTV and 2D tape, when we was playing all the Super Nintendo games. This is like our first time talking about this. You know, I felt that was something that was real funny too. Around this time, Angry Video Game Nerd, we loved him. You know, we still love him now. You know, ain't nothing changed with Angry Video Game Nerd. His reviews getting better, if anything, you know, after he took this break from the movie and now he doing his game reviews. But anyway, being heavily influenced by him, Nostalgia Critic, we decided to pretty much play random Super Nintendo games, you know what I'm saying, that titles that interested the eye, if you will. We will see, oh, they made a Casper the video game, you know, we ain't never played Donkey Kong 3. And this is after Crack Rock, you know what I'm saying, and we just pretty much started doing that a lot. I think it was during Crack Rock at first, but it just started becoming so excessive. Well, we just recorded us playing the Super Nintendo games all the time, and it was some of the most funny moments, you know, we captured. It's just interesting to hear the dialogue. What happens if you put Killer in a room, Best and Trunks all playing video games they like, and me, you know, and it's some real good tapes. You know what I'm saying? Nothing much to say about it. Excuse me. MZ and ODD returning was bittersweet. I know what I'm saying. It was good to see them come back, but what they was coming back for made them look like old ass men. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. The fact that they was kind of complaining about what was happening with the direction of XTV, even though I joined them just cause, you know, I supported what they was doing, but the truth of the matter is, it make you look like an old man when you coming back. Oh, I don't like, you know, these young fools, you know. That makes you old when you bitter about everything you seeing. It's like, just don't watch the damn show no more. It's not for us no more. You know, let's just make something totally different or something else. And he had the same approach that Grandpa Joe had at first, pointing out what's wrong, but never really, you know, never really going as far as to see why it's wrong. Just pointing at the problem. Anybody can do that. And MZ came, and that's what he did. Not to mention, he bought ODD, who had his tongue cancer around that time. And, you know, you just heard him recently. You know, he can't talk like he used to. You know what I'm saying? He ain't able to, like you don't understand what he's saying. And it just made them look bad when they came back like that. But it was good to see them just because they legends. And XTV, they've been here, they've done that. And, you know, we did love them at one point. So it's good to see people come back. And later on, they started bringing back other older people. But Killer was just such a top dude where fans was going to listen to everything he say and co-sign what he say just because he had 8 or 10, however many Cosby shows he had at that point. And they all successful. You know, he just one of the most successful. He can open his mouth and say whatever about us, and they going to believe him. And that made a lot of us deteriorate. You know, but MZ returning, that's just how I feel. It was bittersweet. They left. They came and they left. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to make their mark, but they just made a fool of themselves in a way. You know, I mean, it's just kind of sad. You know, see things like that happen to people. The last and final episode of Crack Rock is never gonna be, you know, it's like what I said earlier, man. Probably like 5 years from now, Crack Rock's not gonna really be remembered, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna really hold up. And this episode especially is unique, what we did at the beginning with the fireworks and, you know, that little intro we did. But that was just doing too much for a show that wasn't much. You know what I'm saying? We tried to have this big grand finale. Like, Crack Rock was that good and it lasted forever. And, you know, we tried to have this big epic type thing for it. And it never really deserved that. Like, I already gave my opinion on this series. It's just, it's one of those things that, of course, is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. Like, where's the light in this? Where's the lighthearted people? Where's the balance? You know, it had no balance. It was just, again, more negative than positive. There's like not. It's like what happened at what's it called? That festival they had the damn hippie festival back in the '60s. You know, they did Woodstock and then they did the other thing, and they had the Hell's Angel for security, and they had like the Rolling Stones or whoever in the stage, and it was all this fight, people getting stabbed. It's just no balance. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got this peaceful gathering or whatever the hell, but you don't have a real good authority figure. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm talking about something totally different, but that's just what Crack Rock represented to me. It's supposed to be all this dark shit because it's how we feeling. Like, yeah, man, this is how I feel. Let me put it on wax. And everybody happens to feel that way. Where's the person to talk to these people? You know what I'm saying? Where's the, like, real positive people? I'm definitely not the one. I have my demons. I'm on crack. You know what I'm saying? Trunks is angry at something, as usual. And, you know, Best, well, he's just Best. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened with Crack Rock. So when they said pain is going to end, you know, even though I said I did feel like that was my baby, let me say what I meant around that time when I said that comment. I felt like Crack Rock could have been real special. You know what I'm saying? Because I just thought it was like we got that momentum. You know, when we got real popular that time, and a lot of fans was watching us, I kind of felt like, man, we can do that again. You know, Killer ain't that good, and we didn't do it. And Crack Rock, as a result, it failed. You know what I'm saying? And they said it was gonna be the last, but looking back in hindsight, man, it should have been ended. You know, nothing was more popular than what 90 was doing and what Killer was doing. And Evan K was already popular just cause Killer was on it. You know, like in Trunks, he was doing his thing. He was his own character. Wells was his own character. You had so much people that was just on this bigger level, and then you have us, Crack Rock. We don't have nothing but a bunch of fights and a bunch of negativity surrounding us. You got MZ and them trying to be the people to calm it down, but they just pointing out the problem. Meanwhile, as you pointing at the damn problem, the problem's getting worse, and the problem is growing. And now you are just a part of the problem while you trying to find what the problem is. And that's what happened to Crack Rock, and he got crushed. You know what I'm saying? In the ratings. And so, of course, it's going to be a last episode of Crack Rock. Of course, a lot of people ain't going to watch it. And, of course, in 5 years, it ain't going to be remembered. You know what I'm saying? We might have audio recordings of it. And we got audio recordings of plenty things. Does that mean most of them are good? Hell no. And most of Crack Rock episodes ain't good. People say, oh yeah, Pain, the music store's starting to come up. It's starting to come up. We starting to like it. Well, yeah, that's good. You know what I'm saying? But what is the thing? Why is it remembered?
what do we remember about it? You know what I'm saying? What do we like about it? You see, you can point out plenty of things that we like about 90. He's funny. You know what I'm saying? He says the truth. He comes from an honest place when he's doing what he's doing. Violent. It might be violent, but you pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? It's many other things, you know. Killer, The Cosby Show. Number one, it's The fucking Cosby Show. Killer's on it. He's very funny. You know, like everything has attributes and has a title to it. You know, you don't have a title to Crack Rock except Pain's on Crack, Dixie Loves Rock and Roll, a bunch of fights happen in the studio. Like, that's your title? You know what I'm saying? And with that, we suffered because other better, like a lot more better things was happening. And so, I mean, I was never surprised when it ended. I just thought, y'all just now deciding to do this? Well, Pain, that was 2008. You shared a whole lot. What's your overall view of this year? I mean, how do you feel? So yeah, we'll never stop talking about it, though. We'll skip over Crack Rock, but we'll never stop talking about it this year because of what was done and who was doing it. I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. But what was done and who was doing it. Vic Vicious dying, you know, Cosby Show coming out of nowhere and stuff like that. Big Trunks, when he first became Trunks, that DVD he had. You didn't even ask me about that. He put that DVD online. You know, we all did something unique and monumental that year where some of the moments will never be forgotten. You know, it holds a lot more weight than a lot of things that's happened since it, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Aside from the Jungle Fevers in the second episode of the Cosby Show, it just holds a lot of weight. And oh wait, 5 years old, but we still gonna remember it 10 years later. What's up, man?